Everybody, Chris Scoville here with Improvify. And I want to introduce you to 7 steps to sales success. Now, the format of this is pretty agnostic, meaning I don't necessarily know what lender you're using. I don't know if you've been professionally trained by a sales manager in your organization. So please go into this information with an open mind just to simply maybe learn some information, or if you don't have a process right now on how to introduce financing to your customers at the point of sale, go into it with that perspective and attitude of saying, hey, how can I implement financing now that we're enrolled with Improvify and we've launched this thing and we can start offering affordability at the point of sale? Go in with an open mind. And for sales managers and owners, do not let this process step on your current sales process. So if you have a 3-step, 5-step, 7-step, 10-step, doesn't matter how many steps you have process, don't let this change your process. Take this for what it's worth. Maybe take some nuggets out of it and add it in. We're here to really kind of focus on financing and what, how you can present this at the point of sale. So go on with an open mind, have some ideas on this, how it can build into your current sales process, and just be open. Maybe you'll learn something here that you haven't used. First and foremost, let me start with this. Financing is not difficult. If you follow the course, the program here, if you listen to my videos in my training channel on YouTube, if you listen to my podcast, if you follow me on social media, you'll see a repetitive nature on what we do with offering an affordable payment solution at the point of sale, soft credit check. If you're enrolled with us, it's a soft credit check. No prepayment penalty. And the goal is always this, is to help reduce a contract cost like this and bring it down to an affordable payment option. Now, that might be from a term loan from 2 to 20 years. It might be a promotional loan, like a 6-month same as cash or an 18-month same as cash or deferred. It could be anything. But just simply by presenting this solution at the point of sale, you're going to see what happens. You're going to sell more. You're going to make happier customers and get better reviews. Your ticket prices are going to increase. You're removing the friction from the point of sale when you start offering financing. Keep that in mind. And first and foremost, it always comes down to this, and that's why I'm saying this up front right now where I have your attention. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how are you looking to pay? Are you going to be using your money today, or would you like to use ours? And they're going to go, what do you mean? Well, we've got some finance options for you. And in 30 seconds from my mobile app, I can find out what we can get you approved for. It's a soft credit check. And then you can make a buying decision from there if you find one program that fits your budgetary needs. Even if you're looking for no interest, same as cash for 18 months, we can help you out with that as well with no prepayment penalty. Are you interested? That can, take however you want to chunk that up and change it. That's the goal, is just to get them to go, oh, you have a financing solution? Of course, then we have the laminate and everything else, like everything else that's in this guide as you go on. This is 7 steps. So course designed to empower you and teach you how to position this financing thing effectively in your current sales process. Some of you may not have a sales process. If you don't, get one. Maybe use the framework of this. You have to have something that you systematically do each and every time at the point of sale. You can't just go and show up and throw up. You have to have a process. So maybe use the framework of this. If you don't have one, use this and develop a sales process and role play. You'll see screens in here telling you to role play and develop some scripts on whatever you sell. Now, it might be roofs, windows, doors, air conditioning, generators, pools, foundations. It doesn't matter, painting. It doesn't matter, fences. Whatever you sell, you can use the steps in this to enhance your opportunity of closing more jobs at the point of sale with your customers. So first and foremost, understand your products and services that you have to offer. How do you do this? Well, when you got enrolled, you should have gotten trained by somebody that would have walked you through the portal. Now let's stop right there. If you haven't learned the basics of the finance company that you're enrolled with, stop. Go schedule a meeting and walk through that. You have to know how to open up the app to take an app. You have to know where to go. Do you have a QR code? Do you have a URL? Is it a mobile app that you have downloaded? Go and get that right now. And then go sit down for a 20 or 30 minute demo on how you open up the app to take the application. That's the basic stuff. Now, when it comes to terminology and the things that you need to learn, you can read that in the course, in the program below to learn there. But you have to have the basics so you know how to open up the app at the point of sale, okay? Super important. All right, content. Introduce home improvement financing. Finance can be used in all. So, hey, Chris, can I use this for fencing? Absolutely. Foundations, yes. Painting, windows and doors, roofing, repairs, replacement, deductibles, depreciation, yes. In it, on and around it. If your lender that you're enrolled with has specifications on what you can and can't do, check with them. Asterisks. Walk-in tubs, water filtration, solar. Check with your lender. Those three things right there just jump right out at me as maybe they won't be able to be financed, depending upon if you're licensed or not for solar, if you're a sales order, if you're an EPC. Okay, so make sure you check on that. So, cool. Established? Great. Let's move on. Types of financing options. Well, let me break down. This is very important for you to understand because your customers are going to ask you, what type of loan is this, Chris? Well, personal loans are typically called unsecured loans, and they very much have fixed rates. And let me explain. A personal unsecured loan would be, I have an 850 FICO, which is my credit score, and I'm going to get a loan for my $10,000 roof, and I don't want it to be a lien on my house. So you're going to come to my house as a roofer. You're going to open up your mobile app. You're going to take the application, and I'm going to get it approved for an unsecured personal loan. My approval is going to be based on my credit score and my debt to income. Debt to income is a ratio that lenders use to approve you, which is essentially your ability to repay. And where do they come up with the DTI ratio? Is from your stated income or your proven income. Now, asterisks, check with your lender to see if on the application, if you're using borrower one's income or if you're using total household income. Are you allowed to have a borrower and a co-borrower? Or is it just one borrower with total household income? Very important that you know that. Unsecured loans are not attached as a lien to the property, which means this. If I decide to buy the roof and I'm going to sell my house next year, I can pay the loan off with the proceeds of the home sale and the loan's gone. It won't impact the sale of the property because it's not a lien. Cool? That's a personal loan. Home equity loan, or as we call them in Improvify, we've got a special program over here. It's amazing. If you haven't gotten that information on our high loan, it's a home improvement loan, call me. It is like a game changer. Soft credit pull, approval in 5 minutes, no prepayment penalty, 30-year term, fixed rate. It's a great product. Home equity loans are loans that you can use the equity in someone's house as a lien to get them a loan. So, for instance, I want to put a pool in, and the pool and the deck and all that's going to be about $150,000, and my house is worth $1 million, and I only owe $300 on it. So I can get a home equity loan without impacting my mortgage, my first position lien, which is at like 2.5% on a 30-year. I could get this high loan, this home improvement or a HELOC, closed in second for the $150,000 pool. Now, it is a lien on the house. So now I've got debt on the mortgage. I got a mortgage 1 and a mortgage 2. Same principles for approval. It'll be based on the equity of the improvement and the equity of your home. It will be based on my FICO, which is my credit score, and it will be based on debt to income, which is my ability to repay. Credit cards, well, we know what those are. You're doing a repair and it's $2,000, or the person swipes a credit card and you process the loan. Now, there are swipe fees with credit cards. There could be dealer fees with personal loans. There are no dealer fees with the high loan or the HELOC, though that customer pays for the fees that the lender charges within the loan, so you don't have to worry about that. So make sure that you're always building margin integrity. Owners, sales reps shouldn't have to think about this. Owners, make sure you're building in the proper dealer fees and credit card swipe fees. Credit cards, do I need to explain what they are? Oh, I've got something I can explain. That's a revolving credit line. Typically, those credit cards are paid off by customers by the end of the month. An installment loan will be a simple interest loan. That's a personal loan. An installment loan will be for a term, like 10 years. Something interesting that your customers may ask you. Okay. Special financing. What does that mean? That means a promo, a promotional offer, a promotional period of time. Like when you go into Best Buy and you see the sign and it says, buy a computer now and don't pay for 36 months. Or Ashley Furniture, buy your furniture now and don't pay for 6 years. Those are promotional loans. Sometimes they'll be same as cash. Sometimes it'll be deferred. Sometimes it'll be an equal pay, no interest over a period of time. Check with your lender on what promos and special financing options they have, because all three of those are different. With pay, deferred interest, equal pay, no interest, same as cash, no interest, no pay. All three of those promos are different. You need to know what you're offering with your lender at the point of sale, because your customers may ask what type of promo it is. Is the interest included? Or is the interest waived? Does the interest get charged back? Or is it unpaid interest? Like, you've got to know what promos you're offering. So check with your lender on what promotional offers they are. If you have questions on this, reach out to me in our Facebook group, the Improvify Program Facebook group. Reach out. You tell me what lender you got, what you're offering, and I'll define it for you. You need to know what this is. Key financing terms. Go to the terms section in this training platform. I put all the basic terminology you're going to need to know. Do you need to become a financier 205 master's degree? No, but you should know the basics of what the terminology is, okay? APR, principal, interest, term length, like the simple terms that I put in there. You need to know because your customer's going to ask you, what's the interest rate? What's the APR? Total cost of the loan. So go in there and check that out. Some learning points. Throughout this training, there's going to be a section that's kind of looking just like this. Through all the sections that I bring you through these 7 steps, these are actionable things that you should work on within your organization. Now, again, I don't know what your sales process is. I don't know who your lenders are. I don't know if you have a 12-step, 10-step, 3-step, 5-step process. This is something that you could do to build one if you're interested. So make sure that you can differentiate between the types of services and finance options your lender has. These are your key learning points and your takeaways. Understand the advantages and the drawbacks of each finance program. Like, for instance, a promotional loan is for a promotional period of time. Typically, there's an advantage to the customer of doing that. Like a 12-month same as cash, no interest. Interest doesn't accrue. If they don't pay that loan off in 12 months, it could roll over to a default higher rate for the rest of the term. Understand what the advantage is of the loan. A long-term low monthly payment option that's fixed, like a 20-year, the advantage on that is a super low payment. The disadvantage could be the amount of interest that they're paying over 20 years. So if you know this basic stuff, you're going to come off as the educated person at the point of sale that's going to win all the time, because he who educates dominates. And if you don't win the deal, educate them so much that when the next guy comes in, you've ruined it for him. Okay, cool. Case study. There's a cool case study at the end that I've kind of wrapped all this up to. Go and check that out at the end. Know the difference between cash buyer and a payment buyer and how to sell each one of them. A cash buyer is someone like me. I've got a high credit score and I don't like paying interest. I'm going to buy the watch down at Mayors on a 3-year promo program, and I'm going to make equal payments. I'm going to have the loan paid off before it defaults. That's a cash buyer. A payment buyer, somebody that's on a budget. Like, if we can get this air conditioner for $79 a month, we're going to buy today. So you basically, all you have to do there is match them up to a payment that's under $79 and you got a sale. So it's really cool to use financing once you've determined if you're dealing with a cash buyer or a payment buyer, and then match the finance solution up to them. That's when you get really, really good at this stuff. That's when it's fun. Now, your lender may have a hybrid loan. What the heck is that? Hybrid is a combination of a promo that rolls over to a long-term low monthly payment option with no prepayment penalty. That's a killer, because you position that thing and then they have no objection. So check with your lender. See if they have hybrids. I love hybrids. Beware those dealer fees, though. Sometimes the hybrids carry some dealer fees. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next section. Identify customers' needs and pain points. Like, this is Sales 101. Develop the ability to identify and empathize with the customer's needs and concerns. Like, this is simple stuff, but if you've never really thought about it, you've never thought about it. But if you've ever thought about it, if you thought about it from a financing perspective, what do I mean? Well, you don't know what the customer's pain point is if you haven't triggered it or asked them. Their pain point might not be you. It might not be your company. It might not be the fact that they have to change the air conditioner that's 15 years old. Their pain point might be money. Because if you can get them to the right price or payment, they'll buy. You have to identify and empathize with the customer's needs and concerns. And when you get to that point and you can answer those needs and concerns and maybe provide it with a financing solution, it's a done deal. The sale is made. Let me tell a story. I don't care about Lambos. Don't care about them, not one bit, not one. I have a GMC 2500 HD. I love it. I don't need or want anything else but that truck. But if my neighbor had a $250,000 Lambo that he wanted to sell to me for $5,500, I would do everything possible to go and find $5,500 and buy it from him. Why? Not that I like Lambos. I don't care. But I know that the Lambo's worth $250,000 and he's going to sell it to me for $5,500. I'm going to go get the money. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to resell it and I'm going to make a ton of money. I don't care about the Lambo. I cared about the price. Now, if my same neighbor came to me and said, hey, I'm going to sell this thing to you for $245,000, $5,000 off of what I paid for, I ain't going to buy it. See what I mean? You identify the fact that I can buy something for a good price, I'm buying it. I'm reselling it. But if it's not a good price and it doesn't make sense, I ain't going to buy it. So once you've determined this with your customers, what pain are they in? Oh, my house is hot. My energy costs are high. I don't even know if we have insulation in the roof. Like, we're sick and tired of our air conditioning breaking. It's expensive. Like, no matter what this is, you got to identify the pain. Once you figure out the pain and you provide the solution, you're good to go. Understand the customer's needs, explore common motivations for the home improvement. This should be in your sales step process that you have right now. Identify pain points, financial constraints, urgency, and lack of knowledge. He who educates dominates. So educate them on the pluses with financing. Educate them on urgency. What does that mean? That means that maybe your promotional loan from your lender is only good for 30 days. There might be some urgency. Also urgency, and we don't know what the feds are going to do next. We don't know if they're going to increase rates again. We had 7 Fed increase rates over the last couple of years. So if you're offering a really good finance program right now, there might be some urgency for them to take advantage of that. Or maybe it's a special promo with whatever you're installing, an air conditioning rebate. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Make sure that you bring the urgency to the table. You can ask your customers if they have financial constraints from buying because you have solutions now. It would be tough if you didn't have a finance solution to bring up that financial constraint. Because most people don't have $5,000 in their checking or savings account right now, which is a constraint to buying the services that you sell. However, now if you show up with the solution, which is a financing solution to bring them a low monthly payment option or a promo, you've solved for that constraint. Even deductibles and depreciation in the roofing industry. It's a constraint. That's a grudge purchase. Nobody really wants to replace a roof. They have to for some particular reason. Effective questioning techniques. This is sales 101. Open-ended questions. Encourage detailed responses. Get your customer talking. Tell me more about the vision you have for this home improvement project. What type of outcomes, were you hoping to achieve by adding the pool? By replacing the air conditioner? Well, Chris, great question. Our air conditioner breaks every month. We want one that'll last for 10 or 15 years because it's super expensive to repair it. Boom! Get them talking. Probing questions. Dig deeper into specific issues. So what challenge have you had with the air conditioning? And what will the replacement of this help address? Well, every holiday, our air conditioner broke and my wife would cry because we'd have guests come over. So I think that if we can replace our barred package unit with the mini split units in the home, I'll stop my wife from crying. and wondering if that damn thing's going to break again in the next holiday. By the way, that's a true story. Our specific pain point probing question issues that we had with ours when the guy came to sell me my air conditioner was this. It would break every holiday. We would always have guests coming over, and my wife was upset. So dig deep. Ask probing questions. That is your reverse trigger sales process at closing time to re-bring up those issues. Those open-ended questions are there for a reason, to help you close. Clarify. That lets them know that you're listening. So when you mention more about the air conditioning breaking, reach back into the bucket. So make sure that you're clarifying. Number one, it lets them know that you're listening. Number two, it re-engages on why you're there anyway. So that's your effective questioning techniques. Now, in your asset class of whatever you sell, you should be practicing these things. So take out my quotes and develop your own open-ended probing and clarifying questions. You should probably have 3 for each section, so you don't sound like a robot. So you sound like you're interested in what they have to say. Don't script it out so much that it's robotic, but follow the systems and the processes. All right, let's wrap up some key learning points in this. Recognize and understand the emotional and practical needs of the customers. Use effective questioning to uncover lying needs. We just talked about that, the 3 questioning. Role play. Practice conducting a needs analysis. If you don't have a needs analysis, I put one in the resource section. You can structure that to whatever your business is. It is plain Jane. It is simple. You may have a needs analysis now. If you don't have one, you need one, because you need to reflect back on the needs analysis when it's time to close. And then you need to role play with people in your office so you're comfortable filling that out and then re-engaging your customer at the end to close. And this isn't like a salesy close. This is to let them know the questions and the answers that they've given you is what you need to reflect back to them at the end when they're wondering why you're there. Or when they found out that air conditioner was going to be $20,000 and they thought it was going to be $6,000. You may need to go deeper into the emotional sale. So the resource section, I've got that. I put that in there as an example. If you don't have one, go grab it there. If you have one, role play. Get comfortable with it. All right, let's get to the next section. Build rapport and establish trust. This is the standard. This is standard sales stuff. But the 7 steps to this, if you don't have them, you need them. So understand why I put them in there. So what's the objective here? Learn techniques to build rapport and trust with your customers. Listen, people do business with people that they know, like, trust, and more importantly, remember. So if you get anything from anything, be memorable. Let them know who you were and who you are so they remember you. They may know, like, and trust you, but if they don't remember you, they ain't going to do business with you. So be memorable with everything that you do. And if you're empathetic and you have passion and you love what they do, they will remember you. If you tell unbelievably awesome stories, real stories, stories that stick and stories that sell, they will remember you. So with whatever you do, try to grab stories from whatever you do. Maybe it was something funny that happened when you were doing an inspection in an attic. Maybe you met a weird dog one day that was doing something odd. Just like, you'll know how to establish proper rapport with your customers, but you should be interesting while you do this. So the idea of rapport is always about building trust and some type of a connection. Please don't be fake with this. Be real. Like, if you don't have a bubbly personality, don't try to act like you have one. Your people will read through that. The engineer that came to sell, here comes a story. The engineer that sold me my $23,000 Mitsubishi 5-zone mini split system was not the most bubbly person, but he was interesting. Why? Because he was an expert. He was a mechanical engineer, and he was drawing stuff out on a clipboard and staring up at my ceiling. And I'm like, this is odd. This guy isn't like salesy to me. What's going on here? He was memorable. I'm still telling the story to this day. And he's looking up and he's drawing. And he's going, you know what I would do? I said, what would you do? He said, if this was my house, this is the system that I would put in and why. That was it. He had me. He connected with me because he was an engineer. And I trusted him because he said, if this is my house, this is a system that I put in, and here's the reasons why. He had me. There was no bubbly rapport and high fives and all this other nonsense. He had me because I trusted him, and he made a mechanical engineering connection with me that I just was like, this is my guy. So, active listening, show genuine interest and empathy in what they have to say. There's some stuff you can read here. I'm frustrated with how drafty my house gets in the winter. Feels like no matter what we do, like we're jamming the insulation and we can't keep the cold out. And then reiterate back to them. Active listening means, oh, wow, it sounds like your house is drafty. What kind of stuff have you been shoving in the windows to try to keep the wind out? Are there any other rooms in the house that are getting it worse than others? Question, answer, active listening, body language. I just leaned in and I changed my voice tone with you. Did you know that I did it? I did. I did it on purpose because I wanted to change my body language, my excitement level. I wanted to bring it in. And that's exactly what I did. So these nonverbal things that we do can convey sincerity and empathy and energy. Also, make sure that you're mirroring who you're with. Now, if the guy's a spaceship, you don't have to be a rocket ship. Energy, yeah. Then you're going to have a type A. Like, manage the energy. You can't be this like, rah, rah, rah. And they're like, you've got to bring it down and tone it down. You can still be you. However, try to manage and mirror the presentation to who you're meeting. Don't be so out there that they're like, man, that guy is just bouncing off the freaking walls. We want to work with somebody that can tone it down a little bit. So make sure that, you're kind of matching and mirroring who you're meeting as well. Storytelling, show, tell, and sell. Stories stick. It makes it real. It makes them know that you've done it before. So I love, oh my gosh, I love Company Cam and Builder Comms. Why? Because that allows you at the point of sale to actually show projects that you've worked on and tell them about Mrs. Smith and Mr. Jones's house and show them the project and what it looked like in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. And it tells a story on what you're going to do with them. I mean, that could be roofing, siding, windows, gutters. It could be septic lines, electrical, plumbing. It could be anything. If you have pictures, you can show, tell, and sell. So maybe you're not the greatest salesperson in the world. You don't have the perfect pitch, but anybody with digital assets in a presentation tool can show somebody the work that you've done or the work that your install team has done or the interesting customers that you've met out there in the marketplace and the other people that you've helped. Stories stick. So show, tell, and sell. Use tools out there. Great digital products nowadays. Creating a customer-centric approach. There's 3 buckets of people that you'll see. You've got a grudge purchase, you've got want, need, and you got ego. Who is your customer? What are their needs? What is the perspective of why they're even buying the damn thing? So let me break down the grudge, want, need, and ego bucket. So grudge would be, I cannot believe that we've got to replace our roof. Our insurance company's making us do. I can't believe I've got to replace my roof because I've got a leak. I can't believe that my air conditioning died. I've got to replace it. That's a grudge purchase. A want, need could be, now this is a fine line between want, need, and ego. A want, need is my wife going, man, I really want a new kitchen. We really need new appliances. Now, there's nothing wrong with the kitchen. It works. And there's nothing wrong with the appliances, but my wife wants it and needs it, right? And then there's ego. Ego would be, I'm going to go real far extreme here. I'm buying a pool, but not just a pool. I'm buying the pool with the outdoor living space and the waterfall. And the reason why I'm buying this thing is because I want to invite all my friends over on Super Bowl Sunday to show them what I built. So when you can lean in on who the grudge is and who the want, need is and who the ego is, and then match up a finance solution to it, it's game over. They all have a want and a need. Remember, they'll all buy if it's the right price. So financing may be a way for you to get them to get the things that they have a grudge, a want, need, and an ego purchase for. Determine who your customer is. Remember, cash or a payment. Cash people like the promo, payment like the long-term low monthly payment option with no prepayment penalty. Am I selling a grudge, a want, need, or an ego? This is all the psychological stuff that we're doing in the sales side. All right, key learning points. Build a strong, trust-based relationship with customers. This is the 101. We already know how to do this. Utilize effective communication strategies to foster rapport, match, and image them. Don't be so crazy, but listen and be empathetic and use different tonalities. Sales, tonality matters. Communication works at practice, active listening, rapport building. You guys should grab somebody in the office right now and do some fun role play. Role play sucks, I know, whatever. But if it helps you sell more and helps you help more homeowners at the point of sale, then do it. Practice. Yeah, NBA players didn't get good at shooting free throws by not shooting free throws. Practice. What you talking about? He's talking about practice. Of course I'm talking about practice. Craft and share stories. Grab 3 stories. Don't be robotic. Share the 3 stories all the time with your customers. People like stories. They want to know who they're working with. They want to know what they have to expect in this home improvement project that you're going to be ripping their house open for. Show them, tell them, sell them. Tell stories. They'll remember the stories so they do business with you. Present financing options clearly and confidently. The only way to present financing options clearly and confidently is to know what the hell you're doing. So you've got to be prepared. You've got to know your program. You've got to get training from your finance company. You've got to know the portal. You do not want to show up and fumble getting to the app. Practice. Have your app set up. Know what 3 programs you're going to offer. Know what to say about those. If you need help, that's why you're here. This entire program is structured on financing and how to present it to help you sell more so you can be more successful. Master your presentation of the financing options to the customers. You do this by knowing your lender, knowing your programs and the products and the features and the benefits, and how to present them at the point of sale and answer their questions. That's it. If you do that, you will be successful with financing. If you educate, you will dominate. Because even if they don't buy, you're going to ruin it for the guy that shows up afterward. Let me explain. Your product might be $25,000. You might be offering 3 or 4 different finance solutions for affordability. Your guy that knocks next to you might be $20,000. That's $5,000 cheaper. They may not have a financing solution. The customer has 0 money. They need financing. Who are they going to call? They're going to call you, even though you were $5,000 more. They're going to call you, not the guy that was $5,000 cheaper. They don't have 25,000. They don't have 20 grand. They don't have 10 grand. This is how you win. Present early, always, and often, and you will win. Preparing your presentation. Tell your presentation to customer specific needs. Have your demo deck and presentation knocked out. Don't be robotic, but have a system and a process and be programmatic with everything you do in sales, and you will win. That's what I'm doing here. I'm presenting you all these great solutions so you can go out there and win more. I have a deck. I'm speaking to it, not verbatim. I'm telling stories. You got to do the same damn thing in your business and you'll win. You might not have a bubbly personality. Who cares? You're a professional and you're there to help solve their freaking problem. You don't have to be this ultimate A personality sales guy. You have to be educated, professional, know your stuff, and solve problems in sales to help people. Be empathetic. Listen to them. That's all that this is. Type A, type B, type. Who cares what type you are? You present, you help, you win. Cool. Simplify your process. Break down the financing jargon to terms. Keep it simple and stupid. Your customers don't know what a deferred interest with payment is. They don't know what a with payment, no interest, same as cash, deferred interest. They don't know what a they might not know what a prepayment penalty is. So spell it out. A prepayment penalty means this. If you pay this loan off early before the promo, you don't have to pay any interest on it. You don't have to get into the big terms and sound like you're the financier. Break down the simplicities of what you're doing and present to that. You don't have to use big words. Nobody's going to be impressed anyway. Remember, all they want is an affordable payment, and they want value, and they want to do business with you. So keep it simple, yet educate all the time. Don't feel like you've got to use fancy words. Things to highlight when you're presenting financing. Cost savings, the long-term savings through financing, so they don't have to pull money out of their 401k. Maybe they don't have to get a home equity line. They can use unsecured, or maybe they want to use the other product and not use that. So you have to be careful with that one because you have both options when you work with Improvify and what you present to them. So cost savings. You don't have to pull $25,000 out of your retirement fund. We can do this project right now for $189 a month with no prepayment penalty. Matter of fact, it's a soft credit pull. In 30 seconds, I can get you approved right now. We work with multiple home improvement lenders that can offer you the solution through a mobile app. Are you interested? That's it. Flexibility. Different plans, different needs. Remember what I said, cash buyer, payment buyer. Promos, short-term, long-term, hybrid loans. Different options, different folks, different strokes. Not all customers were created equal. Joe, Joe, and Joe. 3 different Joes. This Joe's got an 850 credit score. This one has a 700. This one's got a 625. Different interest rates, different programs, different approvals, different loan amounts. This is what the flexibility is what's going to help you sell more. You have to be able to explain to your customers what that means. Why is my interest rate 15.99%? I thought today's interest rates were 7%. Well, Mr. Smith, the lenders that we work with base the interest rate and the approval on your credit score and your ability to repay, which is called the debt to income, which we derive from what you make, what your annual income is. It isn't your fault, Mr. Contractor. I'm speaking to you now. If your customer has a 600 FICO, a 600 credit score, the consumer may pay more for their loan because they have challenged credit. Yes, please call it challenged credit, not bad credit or subprime credit or destroyed credit. Call it challenged credit. They may be paying more. Folks that have a higher credit score may pay less and may get more up to $150,000. The folks that have high credit scores are really good at paying bills back. The folks that have challenge credit may have gone through something that may have made it challenging for them to pay their bills back. You have to know the different plans and the different needs of your customers. Easy application process. I said this in the beginning of this. Know how it works. Know how to present it. Don't fumble around. Practice, role play. Practice, role play. Know your programs. Act it out in the office. Open up the app. Take a fake app if possible, if your lender allows you to do that. Run through it. Get training. Be confident. Are there any hidden objections? Oh my goodness. I have an objection section in my training in the program. Go to the resource section, go to objection. Here's some of the objections. I could do an entire hour training course on this. I'm not going to right now, but you all need to have an answer for each one of these. So take some time right now and write these down. If they object on interest rate, if they object on the payment price, if they object on your price of the contract or the term of the loan, can it be adjustable? If they object on the promo and the rollover default rate, are they objecting on the terminology that you're using because they don't understand? Are they objected to the commitment of working with you? Project value, the lender that you're with. Is the lender that you're with when you Google coming up with a CFPB notice and fines and being sued by the state of Minnesota? Be prepared to answer any objections that may come up. Is there recourse? What does that mean? That means that from a lender's perspective, do we have to pay the loan if the customer doesn't pay that back? Secured, unsecured, know what that is. Are they going to have an objection if it's secured? Are they going to have an objection if it's unsecured? Are they going to have an objection to the default period? Do they not like carrying debt? Like, you have to know how to have a conversation about all this. Credit score impact. Is it going to impact their credit score for the approval? No, it's not. When will the hard credit be pulled? When it rolls over and they sign the TIL, which is the truth in lending. Is it complex? Do they understand hidden fees? Do they trust you? These are the hidden objections that you, as a sales professional, may have to pull out to get the sale. You should be able to address each particular hidden objection on why they won't hire you and do business with you. Make a list, get to the drawing board, and figure out how to answer to each one of these. Not all of them, but the major ones. Just be prepared. Key learning points. Present financing options clear and concise manner. Just know the basics. You don't need to be a financier. Just know the basics. And you're going to get that training from me. You're going to get the training from your lender, from your account rep, and then from the, launching the mobile app. And just know the basics, but just don't fumble. Emphasize the benefits and address potential objections proactively. Make sure you know your stuff. I don't know. Well, if you don't know, it's okay. Tell them, look, that is the greatest question ever. Let me call somebody. Let's see if we get Scoville, or let's see if we can call the lender. Let me call my manager in the office. Let's get that handled right now. Don't lie. Tell the truth. Okay. Activities. Present and practice. Deliver a financing presentation to your group or a peer or your sales manager. This you need to have locked down. This is simple. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's so great that you had me in your home. I was up on the roof and in the attic. Here's what I found. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I know you're going to do business with us. We're going to earn your 5-star review. That's my goal of this whole thing. Now, look, when it comes down to how you're going to pay, were you going to be looking to use our money, or would you like to use yours? And then you don't say anything. And they're going to go, what do you mean? And that's when you say, well, we've got some great lenders that we work with. And in 30 seconds, in a soft credit pull, it won't affect your credit score to get you pre-approved. We can find out what payment options are available for you to make this project that we're doing super affordable, fit your budget. Sound interesting? Yes. Just have a presentation ready to go to get into the financing aspect of it. Remember, always offer financing early, always and often throughout your process and your advertising, your marketing, all that cool stuff. And then role play. Go to the objection section in the training portal below and practice. You got to practice. Get comfortable with this. I'll be right back. All right, cool. Let's get to the next section here. UPS guy was here. I had to go grab that real quick. All right, cool. Overcome objections with empathy and solutions. So if we've uncovered the hidden objections, and like this is another section too, again, not knowing exactly what lender you're working with. I do this training called Matrix Flow and Margin Integrity. Matrix Flow means this. Let's say you're working with this lender and they have a 15-year program, a 10-year program, and a 6-month same as cash. I, as a sales professional, would always lead with the 15-year program because it's the lowest monthly payment. Now, that interest rate might be 10.99%. The interest rate on the 10-year might be 8.99%. And then, of course, the promo is a 6-month same as cash, no interest accrual. Like it's a true same as cash. Okay, cool. So if I lead with the 10.99.15, this lowest monthly payment option, the customer says, yeah, Chris, man, that's a great payment, but geez, I don't really want to pay 10.99%. I can then say, oh, so we're good with the total project cost. It's just really coming down to the interest rate and the payment. So if I can get you a lower interest rate, would that work for you? Yeah, Chris, that'll work. Boom. He had an objection on the interest rate. Now watch what happens. If I take him to the 8.99, the payment's going to go up because I'm reducing the term by 5 years. That customer may object again. Well, that's interesting, Chris. Thanks for taking the 2 points off, but man, now the payment's too high. So is this really about not having interest or having no payment? So he may go back to the 15-year. If he goes, no, we don't want to pay interest at all, that's when I might introduce the 6-month same as cash. So is it about interest, or is it about payment, or is it the price? This is the type of stuff that you have to uncover. These are the objections that you may get, and that's why you're here, because you'll now know how to shift. Now, with one of my premier portfolio partner lenders that we have here, it's pretty simple. The consumer gets the approval and they choose what payment size they want, and they slide the bar from 2 years to 20 years. So they're essentially in control at the point of sale. And then if they want to add a 12 or an 18-month same as cash, they just click the button. And that's a hybrid. So that 12 and that 18-month is built into the term, and it just rolls over at the end. So again, really just depends who your lender is, which will help you, overcome these objections. But you can train to this. Really simple. So learn how to handle objections effectively and turn them into opportunities. Of course, my matrix flow took him from a 15 to a 10 down to a 6. And maybe he objected and just went with a 15 because there's no prepayment penalty. You never know. But you have to be able to work that flow of the matrix in order to introduce the next possible solution to his objection. So yeah, that's like the real intense stuff. Common objections: high interest rate, complicated terms, and mistrust of financing. I don't trust financing. Well, hey, here's the great thing about financing. It's unsecured. It's not secured on your home. It's simple interest, and you can pay it off whenever you want because there's no prepayment penalty. And if you're working with a really great lender, you can introduce them Like our current lender, our portfolio lender, Improvify, has been in business for 132 years. They're 16.9 billion in assets, and they're federally chartered, and they've got great ratings across the board. I could probably tout them. Like, this lender is unbelievable. These guys are great. Let me introduce who you're going to be working with and paying the servicing back to. Now, if you're working with a lender that doesn't have a great reputation, you may want to stay away from that. So make sure you Google your lender to make sure that they're worth talking about at the point of sale. That's where that mistrust of financing. The big thing in the mistrust of financing is this. There's no prepayment penalty. They can pay the loan off whenever they want. So if they win the lottery a week after you've gotten paid, they can pay that loan off, no problem. Techniques for handling objections. See the resource section for the breakdown. I've got an entire section again for the training on objections, how to handle them. But most importantly, like, this is Sales 101. Be empathetic. Address and show and understand the concern from the customer's point of view. Use stories that you felt the same way before when X happened. I felt the same way before when I went to go buy my truck. I had no idea that they cost $100,000. I'm so glad that the sales guy could get me into the truck with the low monthly payment options. Yeah, I had to take it out to 84 months because I couldn't do the 3-year loan, but at least he got the payments down low enough so I could afford this truck that I need for work. Use a story that relates to what they're scared about, okay? Clarification. Ensure the objection is fully understood, okay? Repeat back to them. Super important that you repeat back so they understand what's happening there. Solution focus. Offer alternative solutions or adjustments. In my matrix training, I talked about going from the 15 to the 10 to the promo. That was a solution-focused handling of an objection, solution. Now, I didn't know where he was going to land, but at least I had the ability to keep bringing solutions in. Also, to that point, if the unsecured loan doesn't work, that's when you can do the secured loan to stop them from going to the bank. Let me explain. Hey, Chris, you really sound great. We really like you a lot. We're going to do business with you, but you know what? We're going to go down to our local bank and get the money, and we'll call you back. Sure you are. Yeah, you'll be back. You ain't going to be back. That was your way of nicely telling me to go away. You now have the ability, if you work with Improvify, to pull out your secured loan solution because you can bring the bank to them at the point of sale. That's right. That's when you use the high loan, closed-end second. Mr. Smith, I completely appreciate that. You don't want to use an unsecured loan. You want to use the equity in your house. Not a problem. We've got a solution right here that I can bring out, just like the unsecured. In 5 minutes in a soft credit pull, I can see what we can get you approved to. That way, there's no paperwork. There's no pain. You don't have to schedule an appointment and go sit in the lobby and meet with somebody. We can handle that right here, right now, because we do secured and unsecured loans. That is solution-focused. That's how you handle an objection. What do you mean objection? You're not going to go to a local bank. I'm going to bring the bank to you, baby. I got all the solutions here. I'm a pro. We do this for a living. We handle all of our customers this way. We save all of our customers so much time because they don't have to go to a local bank. We're going to bring the bank to you. We've got the technology. Chris Scoville's roofing is unbelievable. Bring the solutions to them. Turning objections into opportunities. Use objections to demonstrate value. We've done that through this entire training. How do you turn the objections into opportunities? Address them. Show empathy. Clarify. Repeat back and find a solution. Don't just steamroll it and try to put it under the carpet because that thing is going to stay there and it's going to stop your sale from happening. You've got to handle the objection. All right, learning points. Respond to objections with empathy and clarity. We just talked about transform objections to opportunities to reinforce a sale. Go back to the analysis sheet of why you're even there. What were the original pain points for them to even buy the home improvement? Of course, we're trying to introduce to them the affordability, bringing that big contract cost down to a low monthly payment option or 6 months, same as cash. But the objective is to address the pain point with your darn solution. The means to make it all happen is financing. You follow? I don't care how they pay. It could be an insurance check. It could be credit card check. It could be cash. It could be borrowed money from mom. It could be the home equity line. It could be mortgage. It could be 401k. I don't care how they pay. The financing is just a way to make the payment happen and to close the job down easier for you. The payment options and the financing is to stop the guy coming in after you on the 3-bid customer from winning. The payment option is to shock them and make them go, holy cow, I didn't know that we could finance this thing out for 18 months, same as cash, because we're selling our house next year. That's perfect. I don't have to make any payments on this thing for 18 months. No interest. I'm taking that loan, baby, because I'm selling my house anyway. We're moving to North Carolina. You see what I did? Like, they didn't know that you had that option until you introduced it. And then you introduced it, you solved the problem, which gave them the solution, and then you made the sale. Practice your objection handling with everybody. You guys, you're going to get objections. You're already getting them now. But now when you introduce financing, you're going to have a whole other bunch of objections. Why? Because you're introducing something new into your sales process, perhaps, which is going to raise other concerns. Concerns are great because that gives you ability to address the concerns to get to the sale. Cool stuff. I've been doing this for 26 years. This is just natural for me to speak and get excited about this because I know what it's going to do for your business. You're going to sell more. You're going to help more. Okay, cool. Close the sale with confidence. I have unbelievable confidence in what I do every single day because I am a professional and this is what I do. I am very niched. I help contractors with financing programs. I train sales reps on to launch these programs to help them become more successful and help more homeowners at the point of sale with a low monthly affordable payment option. This is what I do. This is all I do. I'm super confident because I'm a pro. You should be a pro and be super confident with what you do. Then you're not selling anymore. All you're doing all day long is providing solutions to a problem and helping people. When you get to the point where you have so much confidence in what you do, you will carry yourself with so much bravado. I think it's called bravado. Whatever. You carry yourself in a total different way when you are the man or the woman. You are the pro. Now, don't be cocky about it and walk in like, like the bear, but just know your stuff so much that you're not considered selling anymore, that you're just being confident because you've solved so many people's problems. So equip your salespeople with the techniques for closing sales effectively. That's what we're doing today. Recognize buying signals, verbal and nonverbal cues indicating readiness to buy. Now, okay, when they say, here's my credit card, don't stop and say, well, hey, are you interested in our secured loan solutions or our unsecured solution with no prepayment penalty? Take the credit card. When they say, hey, we're ready to buy, come on in and do the inspection. Like, of course, you don't want to just take the money right there. That is a pretty good clue that they're ready. What makes you so ready, Mr. Smith? We just met. Well, we've had 7 guys in here before. You're number 8, and we've heard it all. We're just ready. We're ready to go. Fantastic. Well, listen, I'm still going to go do my due diligence, but we're going to get down here. Where's a good place for me to set my information down while I'm up in your attic or on your roof or look at your air conditioner? So when I get to my findings, we can get through this pretty quickly for you. And you're going to set your sales laminate down that says Chris Scoville's Consumer Financing Center, promo, long-term, short-term, scan QR code to apply now. I'm going to set this down at an angle, and you're going to say right there at the coffee table is good. Great. I'll be right back. Let me go do my thing, right? You don't want to skip the steps. I just skipped all your sales steps. I did sales 101. Don't do what I just did. My point is this. They're ready to buy. All you got to do is help them close the sale, okay? So make sure you're looking out for that. Don't spin somebody. Never sell past the close. When they're ready to buy, take the money. Closing techniques, the assumptive close. Great. Assume that the sale is already a given. Well, be careful with this. Great. I'll go ahead and schedule our team to start the installation next week. Does Monday or Tuesday work better for you? That's the assumptive sale. Alternative close. Would you prefer standard package, which includes blah, blah, blah warranty, or premium package with blah, blah, blah warranty? That's the alternative close. And then the urgency close is, hey, we're offering this promotional financing of 12 months, same as cash this month and this month only. This is our summertime promotion. Would you guys be interested in taking advantage of this? Because it's a great promotion. And we don't know what's going to happen with the Fed interest rates. That's why we're pushing this right now, help people. Or there's a supply and demand issue on the product. Don't be sneaky and don't be salesy, but however you position your particular offer for the urgency close, make sure it's tied to some type of a X% off or some type of a rebate program for the OEM, or maybe it's we're doing this special promotion right now because it's summertime, or it's wintertime and it's slow, so we're doing a promotion. Or if you pay cash, we can give you a 3% discount if you give me 3 referrals from church, work, and school, and a yard sign for 90 days. Like, this is how you close a sale with confidence. You should all be practicing your closing techniques. I am not here to stomp on your sales process parade. I'm only here to add kind of the financing piece to this thing today. So you should all know what an assumptive close is. You should all have alternative closes. You should all have the urgency close. You don't have to use my stuff verbatim. This is just a framework. Talk to your team, talk to your owner, talk to your sales manager about what your closing techniques are. I'm just here to kind of present the financing side of this business to see if I can help you learn a few things today to help you close a few more jobs. See, that was my assumptive close. All right, confirm the terms are all clear and the customer is satisfied with their decision. Last thing you want is buyer's remorse. Don't open yourself up to walking them out of the sale either. It could be something as simple as asking, are we all set here today? Are there any other questions that I can answer for you before I get your job lined up for next Wednesday's install? You're just making sure there's just not one more thing. Oh, hey, he left and there was one more question. Or it says, hey, if anything should come up after I leave today, feel free to give me a call. But we're going to get you scheduled up for next Wednesday for the install. I'm going to go order your equipment right now. Right now because you're on the hook. Right now because you signed my finance agreement. Right now because you signed our contract for services. Right now because we're scheduling your permit. So we're not allowing them to have buyer's remorse to cancel. Do they have the right to cancel? Sure they do. In financing, they got a 3-day right of rescission. You may have a cancellation agreement on your contract. But if I'm there at the point of sale face to face, I want to handle anything that I can handle right then and there. Learning points. Identify and act on their buying signals. Watch, listen. Watch, listen. How many other sales reps have been here? Are there any other cards laying around? Are there any other contracts laying around? I know that when I had the air conditioning guys over here before I chose the guy that I went with, the mechanical engineer, I had quite a few. I never picked up the contracts and the bids. They were all laying all over the house. He could have walked in and said, what number am I? Right? So check around the house, see if there's something going on. It's okay to ask them, how long y'all been looking for the air conditioning replacement? Oh man, you're number 15. Well, what's going on? I'm number 15, so you're saying I got a chance? Right? Like, or what happened to the other 14 guys? What'd they do so wrong? Like, you could have some fun with that one if you're number 15. What is it that I need to do to earn your business? Like, if 14 of them have failed, I need to know what I'm up against. I could have some fun with that. If I was number 15, man, I'd own that guy. I don't even think I'd go and look at the air conditioner. We just sit right down at the table. Let me see what they've written up for you. I want to make sure that, we're even going to be able to work with you the right way. Let's see what you got, right? You don't want to just know you're going to go do your whole thing and be number 15 and leave so you can go to number 16. Maybe the guy's retired and bored. See what he liked and disliked about all the other people. Address that first, then go. Closing techniques where you guys should have some type of a workshop or practice that you're doing in your office with everybody. Practice closing techniques. I kind of hate the word close. I hate it, but you got to close. At some point, you have to close. You have to be comfortable asking for the sale. That's why we're here. So if you have confidence, you're not closing. You're wrapping it up. Hey, we're here. We've got your finance program. You signed the agreement. We're going to get you scheduled up next Wednesday. Get comfortable. Use the scenarios. Use stories. Man, this is fun. All right, cool. The R4 method. Now, R4 method stands for reviews, referrals, rewards, and retention. Again, back in the main part of the program here, go down to that section. Holy cow, I wrote the book on it. Matter of fact, that was my first software program that I've ever created in my professional career. The R4 method. It was an automated process for reviews, referrals, rewards, and retention. You should build this into every single thing that you do. He who follow up wins the job. You've got to follow up. You may not win the job immediately, but you'll win the job and the customer down the road. You'll win the relationship. So with the technology and the tools and all the stuff that we have, you should absolutely have some type of a process to follow up. You've got to follow up with your customers. You should be using your CRMs. You should be using your text messages. You should have your own newsletter. Your company should have a newsletter. You should be able to stay in front of your customers, whether it's a warranty or a service reminder or whatever it is. If you stay following up with your customers are never going to forget you. So the next time that an issue happens, you're going to be a person they call. And or if somebody from church, work, and school needs assistance, you're going to be the customer, the contractor that they reach out to. You've got to stay in touch with your folks. Even if you don't win the job, thank them for the opportunity to have met with them. Because they may say, you know what, Chris, it wasn't you, it was us. We decided that we didn't want to move forward with the project. But wow, thanks for following up because my sister needs your services. None of the other guys followed up. So if you follow up, even after you lose the sale, it might not because of you, it might not because of the financing, it might not because of the price. It just might have been timing, or they didn't need it or want it bad enough. But they may know somebody that does need it and want it bad enough. You follow? So if you followed up and you're the one in their inbox and in the mailbox or the postcard or the monthly newsletter to let them know what's going on in your company, you're going to win. Importance of follow-up reinforces trust and ensures customer satisfaction. Follow up. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I was out there on Monday and I see that you haven't decided to move forward. Can I just ask you a quick 3 survey question? How did I do in the home? Did I miss anything? Like, come up with a survey for yourself to reach out to find out what the feedback is. Maybe you were number 3 and they had number 4 coming in, but because you reached out, they decided to go with you. And you can be so honest about this. Like, look, I want to be the best I can possibly be in this industry. Your feedback means everything to me. How did I do in your home? Did I answer all your questions? Was there something that I could have done differently to earn your business? If you do something that small, they may reach out to you and say, man, thanks for following up. We have decided we're going with you. Or they may remember the fact that you care about your business so much that you want to get better and love that for whomever they're going to refer to you. So your follow-up process could be just that, reaching out and asking if you could have done better. Or did you miss anything? Or are there any other questions I could have answered for you in your buying decision? Even if they don't respond, who cares? You put them on a drip. That's when you roll them into your monthly newsletter, a digital letter, a postcard letter, a 8.5 by 11 letter, whatever it is. Stay in front of them 12 times and watch what happens. There's a dental guy that's been sending me a postcard every single month for the last 4 years. Every month, his dental postcard comes in the mailbox. Garbage, 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 garbage. Until when? Until my dentist retired and I needed a new dentist. Who did I call? The guy that showed up in my mailbox for the last 4 years that I've been throwing his postcard away. Talk about a long follow-up game. It took him 4 years for him to land me. And it wasn't because I was looking. It's because my dentist retired. And he was the only one that was in top of mind to call. Tenacity, huh? It's true. It's a true story. I needed a dentist. Mine retired. He's my dentist now. I walked in the office. I told him, and he kind of smiled. You can imagine what he must spend on postcards that get thrown in the garbage. But it took him 4 years for him to land me. He landed me. Effective follow-up techniques, regular check-ins. So the sale in home improvement is actually the sale in any sale happens after the sale. We as sales professionals think that the sale happens when we get the money or the install. No, the sale happens after the sale because that's when you can really wow your customer. That's when you can go out there and get more reviews, referrals, rewards, and retention from that customer. And that's when they're going to go, holy cow, he didn't just replace our air conditioner. That guy's here for life. So keeping in touch after the sale is as important as the sale. Because the referrals that you'll get from what you do after is your lifeblood in your business. Imagine doing such a good job following up and checking in with customers that you sold that you don't need to buy leads, that you just literally work off the company's database because you have a follow-up system. The sale happens after the sale, even if you don't sell. Your follow-up process on somebody that says no to you may be enough for you to stay in front of them long enough for them to refer people to. Because remember, we don't know sometimes exactly why somebody does say no. But if you follow up, it may be there long enough to gain customers off of that customer that was never a customer. Problem resolution. Address any issues or concerns. Like, was my air conditioning system that I paid $23,000 for perfect? Nope. It took us about 60 days to dial that sucker in. Like, it's a Mitsubishi 5-zone mini split system, runs off of a computer in the mainframe in the house. We had some humidity things that we had to adjust. We had some computer things we had to adjust on the system outside. But once we got her dialed in, she just runs. So my call to M&S Air was, hey, Mike, it's Chris, man. Can you get, yep, we'll have them right over, Chris. Boom. No charge, no issues. Couple times over, had a specialist come out. They called Mitsubishi. They got her dialed in. Done. I continually, to this day, refer people to M&S because how they handled everything from the sale to getting my address, my concern. They come out twice a year and clean all my stuff without me even asking. They got me on a rotation. They know when to follow up. That is how you set up a system to follow up with people. Now, what my system was $10,000 more than all the other systems. I think I made the right buying decision. I also financed it. All right. Value-added follow-up, provide additional value for information. This is like super important. Sean Buck owns a company called Newsletter Pro. So if you can't do this yourself, hire somebody with artificial intelligence and all this crap nowadays. You should be able to write a newsletter and send it out to your database of customers that you have. The newsletter can be short and sweet. It can be 4 things. Here's what's happening at Chris Scoville's Air Conditioning. Here's something new that we've just launched. Here's the #1 barbecue recipe that we're working on this month. And here's some funny meme. It could be 4 topics that you send out, and it's folded up like this, and an 8.5 by 11, and it's put in an envelope, and it's licked, and it's sent, and it's handwritten. And that might be enough for you to stay top of mind with that customer for referrals, reviews, rewards, and an issue pops up, top of mind. Now, if you didn't send a newsletter, if you're not staying in touch with them digitally or in the mailbox or the postcard or handwritten notes, they work, saying thank you. I keep this one on my desk because it's got a prayer on it. Guy sent me a handwritten note. That's going to be there forever. I'm always going to keep that there because I love what it says. But it's a handwritten note. That's effective, okay? Do it. Let them know when their warranty is going to end. Try to get them on a service maintenance program so you can see them a couple times during the year. And when you're out there visiting them on the service reminder, make sure you have door hangers to hang 5 left, 5 right, 10 across the street. That's a download in the resource section called the 5 by 5 by 10 method. That's how you stay in touch with the entire neighborhood. Follow up. You'll win. Customer loyalty, encourage repeat business and referrals. This is what the R4 method is all about. Personal touch, personalize the follow-up to maintain a connection. Now, I don't know if your company has a newsletter. Make sure you ask the owner. You don't want to just do your own and get in trouble with the owner, right? So ask the company, hey, do we have a newsletter? No, we don't, Chris. Hey, can I take that under my wing and be responsible for that? Show some initiative. Show some initiative in your company. If they don't have a newsletter, hey, can I build that? No, you don't want to be a cowboy and do your own. Make sure that your company allows you to do it. I would make the suggestion that they do it, though. Okay? I don't know if it's going to be emailed. I don't know if it's going to be mailed. However it is, make sure that you've got a review process. You're rewarding your customers. You're sending them a handwritten card. You've got a retention process, which is like a warranty a maintenance program, a warranty program, a newsletter program. Maybe you're sending them out a box of chocolates after the job. Maybe you're sending them a handwritten postcard just saying thank you so much. Maybe you're sending them a postcard or a Cutco knife. Like, you have to stay in touch and reward the people. You have to ask for reviews. You have to tell them why you're asking for a review. I can only be great at my job if I get 5-star reviews. My job is to earn that from you, and here's what I'm going to do to get a 5-star review. At the end of our job, when it's installed, I'm going to sit down with you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I'm going to ask you to give me a 5-star review. And you only give that to me if I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I need to get better at my job so I know how to treat other people that you're going to refer to me. Super effective. Sets up the precedent. So implement effective follow-up strategies and enhance customer satisfaction, build long-term relationships to encourage repeat business and referrals, the R4 method all day, every day. You build up the R4 method in your business, you'll never have to buy leads. Just get out there and do it. Build it. Repeat over and over and over again and watch your business flourish. Follow-up role play. simulate follow-up calls and interactions. We've done that here. Do it in your company. And then relationship building workshop on how you can build these long-term relationships. Best use case for this, build a newsletter. Nobody might read it, but it doesn't matter. Repetition. Show up in the email box once a month. Someone's going to eventually go, oh, man, Chris sent me that newsletter. It was so funny. The little meme that he put on the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be serious. It could be interesting. It doesn't have to be boring roof stuff or boring air conditioning stuff or boring generator stuff. It could be hurricane preparation stuff. Or, I don't know, maybe you live in a place where the insurance policies have changed. You want to educate the customers on something. Make it interesting, but do it every single month. Okay, cool. Wrapping it all up. I think this was a great training. I tried to keep it at about an hour. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. Again, the goal was not to stomp on your sales process and your systematic approach and your programmatic approach to how you're selling home improvements in your business. I hope that you got a lot out of this to learn about how you're positioning the financing and how you're selling the financing and how it's imperative that you know the programs and the pricing and the products and how you should role play and you should know how to bring and open up that app and what to say and what objections you're going to have and what products are we offering and how do I shift on a matrix flow from a 15-year to a 10-year to a 6-month same as cash. Like, we covered a lot in this last hour. Hopefully you're going to go out there and put it into action. That's why I built the program. These are the 7 steps that I built for you to get out there and get successful. It's up to you now to go do the work. So go learn the work. Go take the rest of this course. You don't have to do it all at once. Go listen to my podcast. Go to my YouTube channel where my 268 videos are. If you're driving around, you want to hear me like just be crazy about the industry. I put so much stuff out there from so many different angles so I can always be different, so I can always be teaching and helping contractors win. Okay? Now at the bottom of this section, there's a quiz, simple stuff. You can check your answers right there. Oh, don't look at those. And then I put a case study in here. Whoa, I got to get rid of that. It kind of breaks down everything that we discussed here today. So I hope that you found this training helpful. I appreciate you spending the last hour and 15 minutes with me. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. Head on over to the Improve-ify program Facebook page. And you can slide in the DMs there to ask any particular questions that you have. If you run into any concerns out there in the industry, I am always here to help you win. So get on out there. Best of luck. Crush it. Learn. Remember, he who educates dominates. So get out there, sell something, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye now.